Welcome to LEGO BattleBots Season 4. We are back, everybody, and kicking things off for the brand new season is a battle between two drum spinners who made last season's round of 16, Copperhead and Monochrome. Copperhead would fall to Sawblaze, the reigning champion, and then Monochrome would fall to Mannerheim, the now reigning champion, the bot who won Season 3. And both these bots, they've got some similarities, but also a decent amount of differences. Both bots are fairly reliable, fairly durable, but Monochrome has the advantage in weapon power. But Copperhead is invertible, so while they're very similar, they do have some differences that will definitely set them apart in this fight. But that's enough talk. Let's get this fight started. Let's get the season started down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Copperhead getting underneath Monochrome to start things off. Landing some little jabs with that drum. As I said, that drum doesn't have a lot of power, but that wedge seems to be getting underneath Monochrome, and all they need is one hit to flip them over, one good shot. But so far, Monochrome is stable, a very low to the ground machine, so Copperhead's gonna have some difficulty flipping over, but Monochrome now getting underneath. And then, almost got them into screws there, but Copperhead very quick on the withdrawal, looking to reset. There's a solid shot, nearly you get something there, but it's Monochrome who lands the first major attack, flipping Copperhead over. Now Copperhead can drive inverted, but they're going to be struggling a lot unless Monochrome flips them back, which they are throwing themselves at Monochrome to try and do, and that does work, but Copperhead gets put into screws immediately and flipped back over. Monochrome starting to take control of this fight, flipping Copperhead around the arena, but that's gonna be... They need to start doing some damage to try and get that wedge off if they want to secure this fight. Copperhead's still alive, and they can outlast bots, but there's another solid shot. But again, Copperhead holding up, and now getting underneath Monochrome again. But Monochrome lands a brutal counterattack, and another shot. Now Copperhead is on the wall. I don't think they can get down from there. Monochrome is backing off, and the countdown has indeed started. Monochrome is going to take a knockout of Copperhead in the first fight of Season 4.
1. Knockout.
Copperhead started off at a slight advantage, its wedge just getting underneath Monochrome's, but eventually Monochrome was able to land a massive shot that flipped Copperhead over, while Copperhead was never really able to land any big shots. And once Monochrome flipped Copperhead over the first time, they really started to take control of the fight. They just threw Copperhead around the arena, got them into screws once, and eventually got them pinned up on the wall where neither of their Copperhead's wheels were touching for like anything really. So Monochrome gets a strong performance against a strong competitor, and it's a knockout victory in the first fight of the season. The Copperhead, they still got 7 fights, so they have a lot of opportunities to redeem themselves. Next up, we have Son of Whyachi taking on Fusion in the clash of Whyachi bots. Last year we had Hydra versus Son of Whyachi. This time we have Son of Whyachi versus Fusion. Son of Whyachi got a decently powerful horizontal spinner, but reliability and the inability to self-right have always been huge weak points. Last season they made it all the way to the play-in matches, but were unable to get a win in that, and so they didn't make the tournament. Fusion, on the other hand, was able to win its play-in match and made the top 32 before it got absolutely demolished by Riptide, if I'm remembering correctly. Only got the 31 seed, and then, yeah, Riptide kind of mauled it. Fusion has received some upgrades to its wedges. It's now more like full wedges rather than just forks, and it's also got an upgrade to its vertical spinner, which is more classical disc now rather than just the gears that had the past couple of seasons. And so Fusion looking to test those new upgrades, while Son of Whyachi looking to take down its brother bot. Who will get the win? Let's find out down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spinning up their horizontals on that first exchange, but Fusion quickly switching around to its vertical, which has been destroyed in a single blow by Son of Whyachi. Fusion still seems eager to test those upgrades, though, at least to the wedge, now that the weapon has been annihilated. Fusion already on the back foot, but this fight is far from over. Fusion still got that horizontal, and that is going to be a lot tougher to break for Son of Whyachi. Yeah, and now that is exactly what Fusion is trying to do, is break Son of Whyachi's weapon with his own horizontal spinner. We've seen Son of Whyachi fall apart before, not as badly in recent seasons, but it's still got some reliability issues, and Fusion looking to go weapon on weapon and test both bots' horizontals. And both bots are landing some very solid shots as these two continue to go weapon on weapon. Son of Whyachi gets rammed into the wall there. And now, ooh, there's another good shot by Fusion. And now using those wedges when they can to try and get Son of Whyachi turned over. Remember, neither of these bots can self-right. Ooh, and a monster shot there delivered by Son of Whyachi. Okay, Fusion has to be careful that Son of Whyachi doesn't destroy the entire chassis, and that would be really bad. But they are leading with the more durable half against horizontal spinners, and I guess also vertical technically. But there's really no progress so far, at least visible progress. And they just continue to go weapon to weapon with Fusion and trying to use these as opportunities to get that wedge involved and get underneath Son of Whyachi, but with the vertical disc. Oh! There's pieces of Son of Whyachi's weapon that came off. You can see it's slightly unstable now, still hitting with a ton of force, but it is not as rock solid as it used to be earlier in the fight. Fusion has found a little chip through. Now they just have to keep chipping away at Son of Whyachi, sorry, until it breaks apart. But they're trying to use those wedges again, and Son of Whyachi needs to get a knockout shot here. It is starting to struggle, and there's a thunderous impact, sending both bots flying, but Fusion going in with the wedges starting to feel a little more confident, as it seems like an entire impactor of Son of Whyachi has come off. And now they finally get Son of Whyachi into the screws and flip them over. That's what they've been waiting for. And
10,
one more shot on the dead bot,
8,
just for
7,
good measure.
6,
Fusion
5,
will take the
4,
victory via
3,
knockout.
2, 1, knockout.
Well, Son of Whyachi instantly deleted Fusion's vertical spinner, that new disc upgrade just for this season, and so Fusion adapted. It just used its horizontal spinner, just rammed into Son of Whyachi head on. And though they also did use their wedges and tried to gain opportunities throughout the fight, tried to take advantage of opportunities when Son of Whyachi was pinned, but they were not able to do so for most of the fight. The bots just kept exchanging weapon-to-weapon hits, and Fusion just looked for its opportunities throughout, just bided its time, and eventually was able to damage Son of Whyachi's weapon. And while that wasn't I don't think that was the deciding factor in this fight, it certainly helped a little bit. And eventually Fusion found its opportunity to use those wedges, get underneath Son of Whyachi, and flip them over. Fusion starts to march back to the tournament at 1-0. Moving on to our third fight, we have a match between two bots who got upgrades over the off-season. Unnecessary Violence got some much-needed upgrades to its wedges, and also some new self-riders, so they don't instantly die when they're turned over. Same-day delivery, on the other hand, got its chassis shortened to try and get a better wedge. Its hinged wedge wasn't really that effective, and it just kept getting bent up and just deflected away by other bots' works. So hopefully this wedge will be a lot better. But both bots will have the opportunity to put their ground game to the test. Of course, Unnecessary Violence has a very destructive vertical spinner, while Same Day Delivery has a very capable lifter and can easily take shots that would flip it over. And it's going to be interesting to see how these upgrades benefit both of these bots. So let's go down to the arena and see it happen. Let the bot battles begin. Unnecessary Violence already getting underneath Same Day Delivery, and that wedge is bent up bad and already has a chunk taken out of it. Same Day Delivery trying to use its lifter like a hammer to get that wedge back down. Already desperate times for Same Day Delivery. And but there goes a wedge of Unnecessary Violence. They can get the other one off, and this might be a trouble for Unnecessary Violence. But UV is, oh my god, that wedge is not a wedge anymore. That is bent up completely in the face of Same Day Delivery, who is taking a beating from that vertical disc. It's getting flipped around a lot. But they, again, can easily self-right, so they're You're doing so. But there's a solid shot by Unnecessary Violence while they're flipped. Sending, oh, and Same Day Delivery did struggle to self-right there. That could be an issue for them as they go on in this fight. But Yubi has them against the wall and splits them in half. That's a much bigger issue.
10,
and this fight
9,
is over.
8,
Unnecessary
7,
Violence
6,
just proves
5,
those forks
4,
do work.
3,
and that
2,
just reaps the
1,
same old
knockout.
Havoc being known for. Well, one bot's upgrades were clearly better than the others. Unnecessary Violence didn't even need to test those self-raiders on each side of it. They just tore right through the wedge and ripped it up in such a bad state that Same Day Delivery struggled to self-right at times. And eventually they just kept flipping them around and got them against the wall, where they just delivered that disc directly into the lifter, and that was enough to split Same Day Delivery in two. Unnecessary Violence coming back from the Losers League with a dominant victory to start its campaign. For our fourth fight, we have a battle between two bots coming straight from the Losers League, Fossilize and Talon. Fossilize barely missed out in the tournament in Season 3 after losing the Desperado final to Snowfall, while Talon just kind of sucked in Season 3. So both bots had to go through the Losers League. Fossilize ended up 4-1, I think in the top 4, so a very good performance, easily enough to get into Season 4, while Talon barely made it through, only winning its last match against Bombshell to get the 3-2 record necessary. Both bots have fragile wedges, but Talon obviously has the weapon power advantage here, that devastating vertical spinner. But if Fossilize can break through those wedges, Talon is going to have a really tough time delivering that weapon into Fossilize. So let's see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Talon gets underneath Fossilize to start, already ripping off 2 forks. Oh my goodness. Fossilize gets underneath Talon with a counterattack, but they are already severely damaged in terms of ground game. Talon is ripping Fossilized up in the early stages of this fight. Oh, there goes the last of the big forks. I think Fossilize has like 1 fork left, but Talon already going to work down, flipping it over. Oh, there is the last fork. All Fossilize has left is that little middle bit before the main central fork. But that's not going to help him really much. Talon has lost the fork, though. This is not good for Fossilize, though. But they can take the hits. They already tank, but that's a thunderous shot from Talon, as Fossilize has a lot of ground to make up early. And there's another new jab. Oh, Talon just flipped Fossilize over, but now Talon's 2 main forks are gone. So Fossilize has an opportunity here. Can they take advantage of it, though? Oh, Talon gets Fossilized into the screws and lands a shot directly to the upper jaw. But again, Fossilize is just so damn durable. And it's going to take a lot of shots to really get into and break apart the chassis of Fossilize. But they need to actually, like, do something, take advantage of the durability and try and break Talon's weapon, because they are way behind on points. And Talon, they're trying to devour Talon with that upper jaw, but that is not working, and Talon just keeps getting underneath to see those little nubs of wedges on the further sides of Talon, and those are working incredibly well right now. So Fossilize has only gotten underneath Talon like once this whole fight, and while Talon isn't getting underneath on every engagement now, they are certainly still in control of this fight. Fossilize not really throwing much, and trying to use that grabber as like a lifter, it's not quite working, but they are trying options, but Talon just throws them into the corner again, getting underneath. They're now trying to land an uppercut while they're underneath Fossilize. Talon in complete control, but Fossilize probably needs a quick knockout, as they just drop that jaw like a hammer now, trying to do something to stop Talon, and it is just not working. They just don't have those forks necessary in order to get underneath and really cause some problems with their grappling capability. Talon absolutely mauling them right now, and now flips them again. And Talon just dominant so far, and Fossilize has shown really nothing of semblance of resistance. And so this is just complete domination from Talon, and looks like this fight is about to end. Can anyone make a last impression? Oh, Talon throws Fossilized into the screws, as this fight will go to the judges for the first time this season. That was just complete control from Talon. They got underneath early, and that was the main factor here. They ripped apart Fossilized forks and really gave Fossilized no options for the remainder of the fight. Absolute domination here. And even though Talon's forks came off themselves, it was too little too late for Fossilized, and Talon was just able to get underneath anyways. Like, sure, it hampered their ability to get underneath, but Fossilized was never able to neutralize Talon's ability to get underneath fully, and especially as the fight progressed, Talon just kept getting a bigger and bigger lead, kept flipping Fossilized over and over again. That Fossilized just did not have an answer, and how could they? With like, they got just a grabbing jaw, like not really much else. I mean, they tried several things, but ultimately not enough. Your winner by an 11-4 judge decision is Talon. Fight number 5 sees Biohazard take on Kraken. Biohazard barely managed its way out of the losers league last season, going 3-2, while Kraken, on their other hand, was able to qualify for the top 32 as, I believe, the 13th seed, where they were kind of mauled by eventual Mannerheim fodder Huge. Now, Kraken has received some upgrades on the off-season, and is significantly more durable, or at least it should be significantly more durable this season. And so that is going to help with one of their main problems they've had over the past couple of seasons. Meanwhile, Biohazard has received no upgrades, and that includes no upgrades to its ground game, so Kraken should be able to try and take advantage of that, but who knows? Biohazard's beaten bots with Cheese Slip Wedges in the past, so let's see if they can do it again down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Kraken already getting a hold of Biohazard and putting them on the screws early. Can they do anything with it though, or are they just kind of stuck up there? Kraken just waiting for Biohazard as soon as he's going to come back down, and there they go. Biohazard able to get away, and this goes right back into the maw. Kraken get them back on the screws again and out of the arena. Well, Kraken's wedges proved very effective against the very poor ground game Biohazard, and they just used the screws to throw them out of the arena for a quick and easy win. Moving on to our 6th fight of the episode, we have an interesting one between Jackpot and Spellbreak. Jackpot made it out of the losers league with a 3-2 record, while Spellbreak first appeared in Battle of the Builders and was able to make the top 16. Unfortunately for it, it lost in the first round to, I believe, Venom. I believe that it lost to Venom, but neither bot has really had a ton of tests, which I guess Jackpot kind of has. But they have received some reliability upgrades, so hopefully they should just be better overall. Spellbreak is also trying to prove itself that it can compete in a more real LEGO Battlebots season, I guess. So good early test for both these machines. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Jackpot gets a solid shot to start things off, nearly flipping Spellbreak over. Spellbreak continued to run into that spinner, but Jackpot continued to get underneath. Oh, now Spellbreak gets underneath with a solid charge. Here's both bots kind of getting some minor attacks in. Neither bot has really had a major attack as of this point. Jackpot seems to be consistently lower bot, but oh, that's almost a disastrous mistake there. Oh, but Jackpot flips Spellbreak over. And Jackpot, so far, I'd say has the advantage, but oh, solid charge from Spellbreak. Like, as they're trying to even things out, but Jackpot, the consistently lower bot, trying to land a more decisive blow that they can do something serious with. But now Spellbreak lands another lift with that front hinge lifter. And there's another attack by Jackpot, fairly close so far, but Spellbreak throws Jackpot against the wall and into the hit. That's the first time, if I'm remembering correctly from this episode, that the pit has been used this season, and it was a fairly close fight to start things off. Both bots had their moments. Jackpot was able to flip Spellbreak first, and it was a kind of a close fight until Spellbreak got a massive attack. I mean, that was one of them, but they really got underneath on one of those engagements, and then they were able to put Jackpot into the pit for the victory. Though Jackpot did actually survive, so those upgrades at least proving they're somewhat competent. For our penultimate fight of the episode, two bots that did not do well in Battle of the Builders take each other on. It's Stag II with those double horizontal spinners, and Heatwave with that vertical spinner. Heatwave got some upgrades. It's now got a hopefully more reliable weapon that can actually deliver into its opponent properly, at the cost of a now less durable frame, and it also still cannot self-right. Now, Stag II is a very awkward bot. It lacks like really any power in those weapons, but that's really dang hard to knock out. So both bots looking for redemption after Battle of the Builders. Which one will be able to find it first here? Let's go down to the arena to find out. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spin up the weapons, and it's Heatwave who lands a nasty shot, already flipping Stag II. That is kind of a problem, but they are very invertible, but those weapons are not as effective when they're upside down. But that's also a problem. They're on their side. We know that they cannot get down from that position. This fight is over. Heatwave taking a surprisingly quick knockout victory here.
2, 1, knockout.
No, this fight was a pretty short. Heatwave landed a pretty solid first attack. They got Stag II into the screws and upside down, and then they controlled them into the screws again and got them on their side for the quick knockout victory. It's time for our first main event. Overlord taking on Mannerheim. Overlord coming out of a very strong performance in Battle of the Builders, going 7-1 and taking third place, with the only loss being to the eventual champion and channel mascot, Nemesis. Those brick separator forks have proved incredibly good against G-Slope waves, and they're looking to replicate that success here in Season 4. They're taking on Mannerheim, the defending champion, who has only lost 3 times in his career. Once to Whiplash, once to Riptide, and once to Siege Engine. Overlord's going to try and make it 4, but Mannerheim is just so dang good that it is going to be very difficult for them to do that. But they are up to the challenge, I would say. And Mannerheim is certainly not going to let this fight go unchallenged. So let's go down to the arena to see who wins in the first main event of this season. Let the main event begin. Oh, what a shot by Overlord to start this fight off. Getting underneath Mannerheim and ripping off a piece of the wedge, but Mannerheim now underneath, trying to bring that flipper into play, and there they go. Overlord has already been overturned and out of the arena. Overlord started off his fight with a brutal uppercut to the defending champ, but Mannerheim just did not care, got underneath Overlord, got underneath, and threw them out of the arena. Overlord shows its potential, but does not get the win.